I am at my local bushcraft club on a flint knapping course. In this excerpt, Jonathan shows us how to knap flint for fire lighting and to put an edge back on when it's blunt.
Another bag. I put myself on the firing line because I'll use this because it looks bloody difficult.
Yeah. It's a bit gnarly.
Yeah, it's a bit gnarly and it's got a lot going on in it, but let's see what we get. I think it's got a load of old fractures and stuff in it as well, but anyway, let's see.
It's a hard life.
So, people have their own preferences, but I mean, we're obviously not talking about ferrocenium, we're talking about flint and steel, yeah, because I make them as a smith. So my preference is something half hand size, so something, I like a bit of meat, I don't like a measly little thing. And you want usually a reasonably straight edge, so you need a bit of mass to hold it, and then you want a straight edge, and then obviously, you know this I'm sure, but it can't be razor sharp because it's just too fragile. So this is that thing of consolidating the edge. So if I run you through the process of how I make the flakes to go with my kits that I sell of my striker lights, maybe that's useful. So I'll start right from, that's a flake I'll come back to, but I'll try and show you how I prep a core to take them off. See what hammerstones have come back to me slightly. This is the other little trick as well, is knowing what hammerstone for what job. It literally is, you know, the right tool for the job, either too small, too light, whatever. You don't mind me being a hypocrite not wearing gloves, do you? No.
Up to you.
If I cut myself, I'm a grown adult, take my own decision. Right, so you start to go after, hopefully I've been banging on a bit about this weird thing I've got about talking about the beaches, this low, even like promontories, something that's isolated. You know, if something's all really 90 degrees and looking really strong, it's probably not your best way in. So something that sticks out a bit, something that feathers away underneath, that's got a bit of mass. It's not too convex, you want it flat or even better concave. That's going to want to let you strike a flake in. That all looks pretty good, there's no damage or anything there, so I'm not going to bother braiding that. I'm just going to lay that flat off the edge of my leg, because ideally this force wants to go that way, not into your leg. And we're just going to, this whole, you know, let the weight do it. Okay, took it a bit further in than I thought, but there's a really, you can see there's a really thick rind of, so that's no good to us, that's just a lump, you know, whatever. But hopefully that's exposed something to be able to get into it a little bit more. We've got another little promontory here, so we've got another go, but suspecting that's the same, I might go in a bit deeper, just to kind of clear things away a little bit. Let's see what we get. Bounced off. It's a bit funny shape in these. Let's have. Ooh, that's strong. Blimey. Oh, so as I suspected, shockwave there, doing as it should. Look at this. Because that's where the fossil is. There's a nice bit of. Look, oh, actually, it's almost collectible kind of little geode in there.
Diamond.
You know, keep that, you know, not bad.
Bet you have that.
And there's the other bit of it in there. So if anyone's into fossils, that looks quite nice actually. Let's see if I can get that off without damaging it. There we go. So there's the other bit. That's quite nice. Quite lovely. But I mean, it's lovely, but it's a pain in the arse.
What is it?
But in fact, I'm going to say actually that's so shot through with that. It's, keep it for that. It's not really knappable. So let me use one of my bits. Let's see if I can get something out of this. This is a very typical field nodule with this all really wibbly wobbly nonsense. Oh, right.
That's all that's left. I don't think it's any.
So look.
That's Salisbury ones, that is.
Is it Salisbury one?
Yeah. Yeah, that's where I used to live. Used to be loads of them.
And there's these little bits here.
Otherwise, we just
loads of geodes.
Just found with that. Yeah, it's full of. This looks like it's full of it as well, and fossils. So, going to be a challenge, but let's see what we get. It's nice to try different flint from different areas just to see how it responds. Let me get a different hammerstone. That's a bit nicer one. That's a bit of a complex shape in there. I don't like that little damaged bit there. Okay, that just shattered. Should have been a nice flake. But, yeah,
It has been outside for a long time.
Yeah, I mean you only get little fractures and then water. This rust stain.
When was the last time I came here?
I reckon.
You've got to be able to get something out of this, surely. Ah, there you go. So that's about as small as I'd want to make into a structure light. So I'll hold that for a minute. Don't like them too small. Too tricky to hold. Let's try and clock this off because that's all damaged. Yeah, not great shape, but possible. That flips over. Now that gives me a nice scar there. And that's fresh flint. Some damage there, but might be able to push past that. Yeah. Shockwave went all the way in there.
Yeah.
But at least it's gone the right way. It's sort of linear, but interesting shape. Yeah, absolutely shot through, geode, fossil sponges. Yeah, fun and games, but you know, it's free, it's your local stuff, so.
That's around this week. Yeah, they've been around.
Right, one of the hardest edges to get in, where you've got weathered, rounded edges. You've got to kind of brute strength it really. That's too convex, so I'm just not even going to try it. This at least has got a bit of concavity, so I'd roll it over in my hand and there's some fracture or something going on in there, but that might let me in. Yeah, there we go. That's a nice usable chunk. That was the best bit we've had off so far. Now we'll put a glove on for this because it's getting quite sharp on the back. And we'll knock some of those pointy bits off. So these are not bad chunks to learn on because they play a little bit by the book, and you'll get enough bits off to start having some raw material, and it's a nice way to start to think about the problems and the angles and stuff and where to attack things. And you know, because it's free, if it goes horribly wrong, oh well.
You haven't lost anything.
No, exactly. Yeah.
I guess whatever napping you do is going to be experience, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a bit short. But
Little green and brown arrows all over the place. Isn't it?
Use more platform developing there now, so I should be able to get something more interesting. Let's try there. That flake went off nicely. So that's what I call as best a removal as you can manage. You put that back, goes on clean, so there's no extra sort of damage. Okay, there's that there. So I've hit it about nearly 10 mil in, got a clear impact. It's kind of gone in, bulb of percussion, it's feathered away, dodged around that. Not a bad flake, you know, it's useful. So that's a good removal. So sometimes things are all damaged and horrible, and if you start work your way in to the original ancient flint, it might clean up and be more useful, you know.
So you could get past the damage and find something useful.
Yeah, and that's then it becomes this core, and you're working in. And the first removals might just be literally junk, but then you're working in, then you've got clean and removal, clean removal, clean removal, you know. That's when it gets interesting. Let's see. This might be completely wrong, because it might have something hiding in the middle of this waiting to catch me out, but let's see. Another little one. Bit on the small side for a striker light, but. And now, I didn't say this, I think, out loud when everyone was sort of listening, but when you start to get into these removals, you've got these are called flake scars, literally the scars of the previous removals. Because the lines just shock, go the way they do and they feather out, when you get several next to each other, basically you get these ridges. And the shock waves in flint love following ridges. So to add to your little, I don't want to throw everything at you first thing in the morning, but slightly flat, slightly concave, slightly sticking out promontory, not 90 degrees. In my book I literally like the tick box. And then if you've got a ridge beyond that, it's really going to want to follow that ridge. So if you've got all of those conditions all set up, you should better abrade that and pop that, and it should follow that ridge and make a nice blade in there. The complication is there's a little whoop in there. So I've got to drive past that to try and pick up that ridge, but let's see. So I want to abrade that because it is all a bit wibbly wobbly. And then let's try this kind of by the book. Well, I like to do this for myself. It's good for showing others, but I do this to myself when I'm still consider I'm still learning at home. Take a pen or something like that and kind of think, all right, well, what do I want to achieve? Where do I want to hit it? I think I'm going to go quite a long way in. I'm going to go about there, and if that works well, the flake that should come off should do. I'm probably going to feather out there, ping out, probably do something about like that. This is really put my neck on the block here, because this is where it doesn't. But anyway, that's too roundy. It needs something a bit more pointy. Where do all the pointy rocks go? That was only phase, but it's getting a bit blunt now. Has that got enough mass? Yes, it will. So remembering, whatever you're doing, tipping this and supporting it, pushing it into your leg, whatever, try and keep it straight up, so you can come straight down onto it. I saw a few of you, and it is very common to, you know, tip it a little bit and then you end up pushing, and that's never going to work. It's never going to be the right line of attack. So try and get it upright and, you know, let it drop, or put a little speed behind it so it's slightly whippy. But, just bend all right at the end. Okay, I came slightly in a bit, but look, it went exactly. Look, took all my pen mark off. I don't consider that particularly bad effort. The shockwave though, because of that inclusion, made it drop in half. But look at my pen mark. That's not bad. Consider that not bad. That's a good little test for yourself. You know, your accuracy and you know, your predictability of the material. But then now we've got a ridge, and now we've generated this new ridge, and that one's fairly clean. There's very little damage there. So then this is kind of like the face of a core. So I can start to do the same thing again. That's where it starts to get a bit more interesting. Prep that a bit. And then, instantly lost it. Ah, put it in the bag. Okay, got a nice ridge there. Let's go in there. Hopefully that's going to do something like.
You're going to find space.
Should do something like that. What about that?
It's just best to put it.
That probably is a bit thin here. I might switch over to antler for this one. And that is just something that comes from like a gut feeling. It's going to be a bit tricky to reach that with a stone, I think. So I might switch to. The only thing with antler is it really needs a bit more abrasion, because it's got to grab the edge. And if the edge is at all weak, it will just collapse and it won't take that shockwave in. So you've just got to. Yeah. Decent bit of antler. It's a bit too heavy. That's not bad. There is some damage there which might cause this to go awry, but let's see. You just got to clip it this time. Ooh. Hit myself in the leg. Just clipped it. This side of me. Oh! So, I got my pen, but I hit it just slightly this way of me, so it's sort of broken, those two pots. So it's taken all the pen off, so the shockwave did away, but that's a lovely little wicked kind of thinner blade. But anyway, you get the idea of the process, these ridge lines. But let's come back to some of these bits we've now created. That was probably the best contender. So in terms of a striker light, everyone's got their favourite sort of style and shape and size. This is where I like to do this sort of anvil thing, because I think it speeds it up. There's where the bits of anvil gone. Can you just pass me that bit down there? Cheers. Yeah. Right. So I've got a nice run there. But this is all a bit wibbly wobbly and it's a bit sharp, and that's going to be near the hand. So we just literally want to just nibble that away. I mean, it's just not going to look perfect. It's only a striker light, but you know, might as well try and make it work. A bit more aggressive with the back of that. Just get all the nasty sharp stuff out of the way. So it's a bit nicer to have in the hand. covered in bits, but oh well, never mind. Right, something that, you know, kind of try fitting it in your hand and which way around it goes. There's a flake scar there that just makes your finger want to sit like that, and then your thumb there, so that's lovely. That feels like, you know, potential. And then this edge that we actually want to use on the, has anyone got steel actually? Yeah. So we can actually try it. Well, I mean, and if you're happy to try it against, you know, a flint, because then it's just, you know, crap catch, you know, it's yeah, nice. What's your preferred striking method? How do you?
Either or, right or left-handed.
Right. Because I see it's a little bit wavy.
Yeah, it's seen a bit of action.
Yeah, so I mean this edge is happy, but it probably just wants a little bit more work. Yeah, okay, alright. So, then you fit them to the steel, you know, how the steel's going to respond, or because you want it sharp, but you want it strong, obviously. So let's just do another little pass along here. And oh, who asked me that question? Yeah. So for resharpening, if they go a bit blunt, literally just do this. Just run along the edge with an antler and just take off little flakes. You want to just clip the edge. You see little things pinging off, and that will reset the edge.
You can have a look at it in a minute, please.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That bit's a bit thicker, so it's putting them a bit more of a fight. There we go. I mean, you don't have to use this. Often, if you're happy, you can do it in your hand when you get used to it. Just literally let the flakes ping off. Get it as flat as I can. Yeah, have a look at that.